What is a constant cycle of violent news doing to us? T has been a rough year. By now, our violence is down to a pattern, and there is a choreography to our reactions. A killer seeks out a nightclub, a church, an airport, a courthouse, a protest. Someone is shot on video, sometimes by the police, and marchers fill the streets. An attack is carried out in France, America, Turkey, Bangladesh, Lebanon, Tunisia, Nigeria, and then claimed and celebrated by a radical terror group. Our phones vibrate with news alerts. The talking heads fill air over cable news captions that shout breaking news in red. Rumors and misinformation abound. The comments erupt on Twitter, Facebook, and news sites. Journalists create multimedia stories that focus on videos, photos, and graphic accounts from victims and witnesses. The experts give interviews, and the latest tools of immediacy are put to use. After the deadly terror attack in Nice, France, The Times invited grief counselors to be interviewed on Facebook Live. Within days, attention had turned to a shooting in Baton Rouge that left 3 law enforcement officers dead. So, what is this doing to us? It depends on the individual, but living in a digitally linked world where broadcasts of violence are instantaneous and almost commonplace means that many of us are becoming desensitized, Anita Gadia-Smith, a psychologist in Washington, said Friday. With the frequency of shootings and terror attacks, there is a sense of anxiety that's building in people, she said, a sense of vulnerability and powerlessness. Dr. Smith added, there is a heightened alarm, but there can also be some desensitization that's happening. The constant stream of news on social media can also be traumatic. A team of researchers at the University of Bradford in England told a British psychology conference last year that exposure to violent imagery on social media can cause symptoms that are similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, defined as a persistent emotional reaction to a traumatic event that severely impairs one's life. In an analysis conducted by the Bradford researchers, 189 participants were shown images and provided with stories of violent events, including the September 11 attacks, school shootings, and suicide bombings. The researchers' analysis showed that 22% of those who participated were significantly affected by what they saw. The study also found that people who view violent events more often were more affected than people who saw them less frequently, and that people who describe themselves as extroverts with outgoing personalities were at a higher risk to be disturbed by the images.